Monday.
Monday. Today's Monday. There we go. I'm just in another planet. Today is Monday. A big start to our week. We have the incredible Kristie here with us today at the Freedom System Movement, wherever you're tuning in from. Hashtag online if you're online with us, or hashtag replay. Drop some comments below. We'd absolutely love to hear your takeaways, what we're going to share with Kristie. She's a phenomenal woman. I must say, Kristie, you are probably the best interview we're going to do yet. Yes, definitely. Kristie is an amazing mentor that we have in our space. She has gone, I'm going to let her share her incredible story. She's come from being an entrepreneur, having a traditional business, working a 9 to 5. She's been through quite a different phases of life, all the way up to what she's going to share about making her first million in 11 months, what affiliate marketing is all about. Bless you, babe. Many blessings. Many blessings.
Keeping it real.
Yeah, keeping it real. But what affiliate marketing is all about, being in this space, this digital world, combining all of her skills together, and the incredible leader she is. So we are very honored to have you today, Kristie, for the next 15-20 minutes to, you know, work your magic and be able to share your essence and your wisdom and your insights with everyone in our community. We're so blessed, babe. Thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm so excited to be here.
Woo, woo, woo. So let's jump into it, babe. Like, for people who don't know who you are, there's lots of people in our community, men and women, that we're speaking to, young entrepreneurs, young women, young men, as well as the older age group as well. So who are you? Where did you sort of come from? Where are you located in the world? We're all about freedom of being online too. Let's start there.
Yeah, cool. So hi, everyone. I'm a mum of 3. I live in the Northern Rivers in Australia, in New South Wales, near beautiful Byron Bay. And yeah, a little bit about me, I guess, is, if you don't know, if you have never heard of me, yeah, I've got 3 kids under 5.5, and basically I am a mentor to thousands of people across the world, really supporting them to create full freedom in their life. So time freedom, financial freedom, and location freedom. And that's what I'm very passionate about, because this is what I was always seeking in my life to create. So yeah, basically, 10 years ago, I was working in a corporate job. I'd gone to school, I'd gone to university, I got the good grades, and then I started working in a corporate job, like many of us do, right? And I remember being 22 and working in this corporate job, and I was like, I knew that like this was sucking my soul. Like I was like, this is not a vibe at all. Like, I don't want to be sitting here until I'm 65 and then I can retire and travel the world. And up until I get to that point, I can have 4 weeks holiday a year, and I have to ask my boss for time off. And I was, living paycheck to paycheck, like most people that work a job, right? A job, job, just over broke. And that's literally how I was living. And so I was partying a lot. I was drinking like every night. I was like, just, yeah, like getting wasted to basically, because that was my fun times. That was where I was like, I'd come alive, is when I'm like at a nightclub at 2 a.m. And I saw a guy that was basically earning $30,000 plus on the internet per month. And he was living in Hawaii. He was Australian. He was living in Hawaii, and he was having the time of his life. Wow. And I was like, okay, what is this guy doing? Like, what's happening here? And he had time freedom, location freedom, and financial freedom. And I was like, I'm sitting here at 22 in this like soul destroying corporate job that I do not want to be at. He's living my dream life. And I then came across a book called The 4-Hour Workweek, and it changed my life forever. If you haven't read this book, read it, because it actually expands your mind into what is actually possible. And what I saw was possible, that there is thousands and thousands and thousands of people, millions of people probably across the world, that are, creating more than what they would in a year, in a single month, online, and basically have full freedom to do what they want to do without having to check their bank account or their calendar in order to say yes. And I was like, okay, I need to figure out how to do this. And I quit my job. I had no savings. I had no backup plan. I didn't know how to start a business. I knew nothing. Like I just was like, I'm going to figure it out. And I started putting myself in rooms and with people that had, that were on the same path, that were creating their dream life. And I was like learning from them. And yeah, for the first 5 to 6 years of my entrepreneurial journey, it was very, very rocky. I had lots of failures, which I don't ever call anything really a failure, because failures are really just like challenges that it really just leads to growth and lessons that we extract lessons from in order to support the next part of our journey. And without those, like, I wouldn't have had all of the tremendous growth that I did and the resilience that I cultivated through those challenges. So yeah, I tried lots of different businesses. I had a raw food cafe, so a traditional business. I thought that was going to be my ticket to freedom. And I ended up having a nervous breakdown and adrenal fatigue from that journey. I started a low ticket network marketing business and was basically selling, supplements and shakes to my friends and family. And I was getting like $20 to $50 in commission. And I worked out, I was like, if I wanted to have a $10,000 month, which even $10,000 is not actually a lot of money. A lot of people think, oh, 10,000, if only I could do a $10,000 month, then I would be free, or then I'd be able to live an incredible life. And it's like, yeah, at some extent, yes, like $10,000 is great. But I started to do some numbers on these models that I was working with, right? And I was like, if I even just wanted to, because for me, I'm like, well, true freedom really for me looked like 6-figure months, right? That would give the amount of spaciousness to travel business class and stay in really nice hotels and really not have to worry about money. And yeah, and I just got to this point where the business models I was doing, I couldn't see how they were even going to help me to make a $10,000 profit month. And I started to kind of do some numbers on this low ticket network marketing business that I was doing. And I'm like, if I'm receiving $20 to $50 in commission and I want to make $10,000, I've got to sell 500 products every month. And I don't even know 500 people. So yeah, that was kind of my first 5 years of just trialing different models. I had an eBay store at one point. I was doing coaching at one point. And really nothing was getting me any closer to creating full freedom. Every model that I had, been a part of or looked at, it was like some part was sacrificed. Yeah. I thought coaching was a great industry. And then I got into the coaching space. I did a coaching certificate and got into that whole world. And then I was on calls all the time. And I was like, well, it's taking away my time freedom. And I don't want to be on calls all the time. Right? I don't want to have to be chained to a calendar or calls or anything like that. So thank you so much. Just got a beautiful pot of tea to me. Thanks, babe. So yeah, really my biggest message and mission has been, how do I crack the code personally to create freedom for myself and my family, and then supporting other people to do that. So it was around 6 years ago now that, I did that, and that's what I've been doing ever since. So I don't know if you want me to go into that part of the journey.
We've got a couple of people just commenting and relating to the low ticket network marketing and how relatable the coaching comment is for us as well. So yeah, your story's resonating heaps. Thanks, babe. And I know there's a lot of coaches and healers and facilitators in our space too. So this is speaking a lot to them. Mm-hmm. So talk us through, what does life look like now? What is happening now in the business that you are growing, the team and the mentorship that you're leading? Like, what's happening for you now? And I'd love for us to talk about the vision going forward. Also. And some juice. Like, what are some tough things that you've been through or enjoyed that does come along with this sort of leadership and this, being called forward?
Yeah, cool. Okay, amazing. Well, let's just start with where things are at over the last kind of 5 to 6 years. So 6 years ago, I really kind of, I guess, cracked the code, and I'd been, seeking something for 5 to 6 years at that point, and no model was like ticking all of the boxes. Yeah. And then I was pregnant with our first child, and we were broke. We were on the entrepreneurial hamster wheel. We very much, called ourselves entrepreneurs, but really we were just totally broke and just getting by and, trying to live day by day, putting $5 of fuel in our car and getting a big apartment and all of these types of crazy things, right? And it just got to this point where I was like, a line in the sand moment, enough is enough. Like, I'm not bringing our child into the world with financial pressure or under this environment. Like, if I really looked at like my standards for my life, I'm like, this, like, I'm not tolerating this. Like, I want to hold higher standards for myself and what I provide for my family and my child, right? So I remember saying to my husband, who was my partner at the time, I was like, you're going to have to go and get a job, because he was the same. He was like struggling entrepreneur. And he was like, no way, like it's not even not even a possibility. I'm unemployable. No way. Give me 90 days. And so when he kind of said that, and then I really committed as well of like, all right, we've got 90 days. And we started to understand the power of like how people's lives can change rapidly in 90 days.
Yes.
And so we said yes to a model that was actually very clear that we could create full freedom within 3 to 5 years max. And something called generational wealth, which we actually created within 2 years, meaning that we really don't have to work another day in our life again, and we're still getting paid a ridiculous amount of money every month for the rest of our life.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's really what, we literally went from eating like spaghetti and tomato sauce, tomato paste, because we had no other food in the cupboard. We went from that to within 90 days, creating more than what we had even ever created in a year. Booking flights around the world. We had our baby. We moved into a penthouse. We bought all brand new furniture, and then we decided to go traveling, and we were still paying for the rent at our like penthouse while we traveled to the world.
Oh my gosh.
And yes, business class, staying in, top hotels, top resorts all across the world. And just had the time of our life. And then we went on to have our 6-figure dream wedding, which was, just absolutely incredible. And we've been able to give back really generously. We've definitely donated and given back well over 6 figures over the last couple of years. And we just really lived that life that was always once a dream, like full financial freedom, full-time freedom, full location freedom. And what's so powerful is that it's not just us, like literally within our community. So we have the most incredible freedom community that's global, and literally every day people's dreams are coming true, right? And it's like, yes, it takes work. Yes, it takes, becoming the highest version of yourself. Yes, it takes certain things to cultivate this type of life. Absolutely. But this model that we're working with is by far easier. And it's like, you've got to choose your hard, right? Like for me, working a job was like, that was hard. Going to work for somebody else for 38 to 40 hours a week was really, really hard.
Yes.
Being broke was really, really, really hard. Starting businesses and then having to literally sleep out of my car or on friends' couches was really, really, really hard, right? So it's like this journey, this model that literally has a very clear pathway for people has been the easiest model that I've followed. And I'm not saying that the entrepreneurial journey is going to be easy, but I'm just saying we don't have to keep going through the hustle and the struggle just to get by. So it's really been a paradigm shift of this new way of how we get to receive, how we get to lead, how we get to give back, all of these really beautiful things when we kind of make a decision, and find an opportunity like this. So and I can go a bit deeper with what you were mentioning. Well,
there's so many things. I really love that you talked into the community, and I'd love for you to share a little bit more about the community vibe and the community energy, because even us having this beautiful community that we've created and cultivated and bringing them together, like Freedom Sister Movement and the Freedom Era community is just like so in alignment. So I'd love for you to talk more about how powerful the community really is, and even the ripples of your leadership and you going through everything that you have and what you've touched on now, you and Clint together. What have you seen ripple out in the community with other leaders around you? Like, I know what we see too and what we share, but it's amazing to hear it from you too. Like, what is the success that we're all, working towards and achieving? I'd love that share.
Yeah, well, there's been a number of people that we've supported to also reach generational wealth. Travel the world, have their dream weddings, buy their incredible homes, buy their first homes, like such a big achievement. Some people have been able to buy their first homes cash, right, in our community. We finally taking back their power. A lot of women, I guess, are relying on their husbands for the financial stability, and a lot of women have come into this space and really taken that power back for themselves and actually created their own financial stability. yeah, people like just living their dreams, like really living. And this is the thing, it's like, what would you do with your time? What would you do with money if it was uncapped, if it was unlimited? And this is the thing, like people have choice. People have they're able to basically choose what they want to do and when they want to do it. And so that lights me up so much, is that there really is this culture of the sky isn't even the limit. I heard this from one of my mentors once, of like, a lot of people say like the sky is the sky the limit, and it's like, well, that's not even the limit, right? Like when we truly choose to create the most incredible beautiful life, and we actually choose to lean into like the getting uncomfortable and doing the work on ourselves and saying yes, we really get to create and cultivate that life of our dreams. And this is what I see every day. And I truly feel like this community isn't like just a community, it's like we're family. We are really a freedom family that hold a lot of the same values around. We don't have to follow what society taught us in order to live our life, right? Like for me, I'm very much into like, I'll be world schooling my kids. They won't be going to traditional traditional school. I home birthed my babies. Things that I guess in society are like frowned upon, but actually it's like, why are we so stuck in a system that actually isn't supporting us to truly thrive? If it was designed for us to truly thrive, we would be taught about entrepreneurship. We would be taught about, what is actually possible, rather than like these limitations that are put on us. So it's very much a community that really values the unlimited potential that we actually get to tap into, and actually living a life of fun and joy and play and epic vibes and traveling the world together and making memories together and having incredible experiences. And it's like, when we're on our deathbed, what are the things we're going to be looking back at? Are we going to be like, oh, I'm so glad I stayed in that job that was sucking my soul for 60 years? No, like, what are we actually going to look back at? For me, like, I'm so determined to look back at my life when I'm on those final moments and be like, I freaking lived, like I had the most incredible life. I chose the most incredible life, because it's like, we're all just choosing, right? We're all just making decisions every day. We can literally just choose what is it that we actually desire. Are you even clear? Like if you're watching this right now, are you even clear on the type of dream life that you want? Do you even know that it's possible to create that? Have you actually asked yourself these questions of like, well, what would I be doing if money and time were no longer an issue, right? Like, so when we can start to get inquisitive about these types of things and actually journal on these types of questions, and we start to realize that the life we're living now is actually not fully in alignment with our dream life, then we can go on a journey to close the gap. And to close the gap, we need a model, and we need mentorship, and we need people around us that are similar, so that we can walk the path with them, so that we can keep cultivating belief in ourselves, belief that this is possible. Because in a society where we're told that it's not possible, we need people around us that are lifting us up and actually being like, it is possible. So, yeah.
Oh, you're amazing, Kristie. And I'm so freaking thankful to have you on today. I'd love for us to wrap it up and leave everyone who's watching this, present or future. What is it that you would say to a woman watching this, or one piece of advice you'd love to leave everybody in the community, or just something that comes to you now about how they might be feeling? Because you've given a lot of beautiful reflective moments. Like I've taken a lot away from this desired life and tuning in and bringing that closer and closing that gap. So yeah, what can we leave everybody with? I would love to know what you're thinking.
It's interesting. I did a post yesterday and I feel like it's really relevant. I was talking about how I guess in society our sort of normal way that we look at how we're going to create wealth is through property, right? And I was sharing how I bought a house at the start of the year for $910K, right? And I put $200,000 into that for a reno. And so now for me to sell it, I would have to sell it at a minimum of 1.1 to break even, right? And I was sharing how we don't need to invest $1.1 million in order to make 300,000, because I was giving this analogy of like, from me investing that money and doing that renovation, the house would actually now be worth more like 1.4. So within 8 months of actually, I've got profit there of say 300,000. But I was sharing that we don't have to take a huge mortgage out and go and buy a one point something million dollar house in order to make $300,000. Like, there is a new paradigm of investment and wealth creation, rather than having to go down, like, property is amazing, right? Property is a great investment strategy, but we need a cash flow strategy. And so what is your cash flow strategy? What is your strategy to actually create wealth, right? Because most families are divorcing because of money. Like, I think it's 90% of families in the US, marriages in the USA, are 90% is from money, right? Money creates so much stress, and it's like, money's always been this like taboo thing to talk about, where it's like, let's talk about money, right? Let's talk about the importance of money. And the honest truth is, money fixes 99% of problems. So find a way to, it doesn't have to be these traditional ways of like, the only way to create money or wealth is through property, right? Property, once you've created some wealth, once you've created a passive income stream where you're earning over $100,000 a month, then that cash flow and put it into investment strategy that's a long-term investment strategy. But these investment strategies can take 10 years, 20 years for you to actually see, the type of return that you actually want to see. So I think that's kind of relevant for today. And I shared at the bottom of my post yesterday that my only regret was not finding this at 22 and being retired by 25. Right. Like, for me, I was 29 and I was fully financially free by 31, which is still absolutely incredible. But I'm like, what would have happened if I did this before I had kids? If I had that total expansion to actually go and fully live my life. And this is what excites me so much, is that, people that are 25 and under that are coming in and seeing this and seeing their full potential and being like, no, screw the 9 to 5. And this is what I'm saying to them. I'm like, by 25, you're literally going to be financially free. And they're like, how incredible, right? How incredible to live those years of 25 to 30, for example, traveling the world and doing all these amazing things, right? Because you spend a couple of years like really building something, really building a digital asset. So don't wait. And choose a very smart cash flow strategy that's actually going to support you to build the consistent cash flow, and then put that into investment strategies.
Oh gosh.
I was just going to say, like, you have to start somewhere, right? And so what you're saying is like, just take action in wherever you are right now. And so if you do want to take action, and this has inspired the fuck out of you, like it has for me, even if I'm already in this business, make sure you drop dream or just comment below me, and we can also share that with you too, and share with you how we all started. So that's epic. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Kristie. That's epic.
On here. Thank you so much for having me. Thanks, everyone.
That's all right, honey. We'll drop your Instagram. Go and follow Kristie on Instagram as well. Like, plug into her energy. As you can see, her vibration and energy and her frequency is through the Richter scale. You want to be in her space. So thank you so much, Kristie, for today. We really appreciate it. Lots of love, everyone. We'll speak to you soon. Bye.